Michael Ray here with Patient Care Marketing Pros, and we'll talk to you about responding to negative reviews. Now, negative reviews is something that none of us want to deal with, but at the end of the day, it's important that you respond to them for two reasons, really. One is simply Google appreciates when you respond, the algorithm reflects that. And then two, you need to show real people that you're willing to own mistakes when you can. Now, in the world of responding to reviews, you have to remove some of the emotion. It's okay to have a happy response to a good review. It's not okay to have a negative response toward a negative review, simply because you can't win the argument inside of Google, because the Google review conversation is limited to just one option where they gave a review, you gave a response, and that's it. There's no more conversation. So if your last response, which is can be seen by public, is very negative toward that person, where you're saying that they are incorrect or they are just not understanding of the process or the service that you offer, at the end of the day, you're going to lose that battle. Just because when I see that, when I come across review and there's an argumentative owner, because essentially the assumption is, as an individual, if I see it or response is very negative, I'm assuming that's the owner of the business, or the owner is just simply allowing that negative response to happen. So it looks really bad, because I'm okay if I see a negative response, but it's negative in the sense of, we have no records that you're an actual customer. But if you have some concerns, please give us a call. So that's okay, because like you're saying, this might be spam because we don't know who you are. Now, when it comes to negative reviews and you have one come through, the best thing to save yourself some headache is to come up with a general canned response. So a canned response is simply this is our go-to response for these type reviews. And to avoid negative conversation out of it or negative view of it, you want to just say, I'm sorry that you had that experience. We'd love to correct that for you. Please give us a call at this number and we'll be happy to talk to you. And what you're saying is like, I recognize there's a bad experience, that you're saying that there was an issue. We recognize it. We want to correct it if we can. And here's how to start that process. Because at the end of the day, the only way to get rid of that negative review is the person who left it can go back and either change it or remove it. We have actually had our own experiences in that. And what it boiled down to was a misunderstanding or communication. So we had a client once that we had done some work for them and they disappeared. Couldn't find them. They wouldn't respond. So we just moved the project to an archive position. And then a year and a half later, she starts sending us some messages. We're like, is this real or not? And we were slow to respond because we just assumed this person, because they already ghosted us once, so like it's probably gonna be ghosted again. And our responses weren't quick enough. And so she went and made a bad review. So in the bad review, I took an opportunity, instead of just making a quick response back, because it happened, I saw it happen, and then that same day I took action. So that's the thing too. We took action because at the end of the day, it's always going to be better if you can get that review changed from a negative to a positive by the person who did. If you can do that, it'd be great, or removed. So take some action first, and if you feel like you won't be able to take action, or you feel like it was basically there's what they're saying isn't true, that's when you respond with the canned response. So love to help talk to you about this. Please give us a call. So what I ended up doing though is like I saw that go through. I was like, okay, I need to correct this. There's just a gross misunderstanding here, because I do remember sending her what she wanted. And she never responded to it. Anyway, so I called her and I talked to her, and it wasn't an awkward conversation. It was like, hey, this is so and so. I wanted to talk to you about this project. And she answered and everything was fine. And she's like, oh, I didn't see that email. And she goes, oh, there it is. I'm so sorry. And I said, hey, by the way, I know there was just a little bit of miscommunication here. Would you be willing to remove that review that you left? She's absolutely. I'll go take care of it right now. So that's a scenario where I took a negative review. I made action toward it to correct it, and it worked out. Now, if I had called no responses, then I would, we would put a reply in there, and we're not going to get hateful toward it. I mean, being hateful just doesn't win. And also, AI has its struggles. We've had our experiences where, like, well, let's let AI just answer all this. Well, sometimes AI gets a little hateful because it feels like it got wronged. So you got to be careful with that. Generally, we always want to put the tone toward just a positive response to anything negative, just to be on the safe side of things. Because, like I've always said, you get that one response and that's it, and then that perception is always out there. So if I was going to sum all this up for you guys, it's very simple. Get a positive review, respond. Get a negative review, respond. Don't add emotion to the negative response. Always, if you feel like you're going to have emotion toward it, have developed 2 or 3 canned responses that you can just copy paste right in, and allow it to basically say there's a resolution here, but you need to make the first step, reviewer. And when it does, it will give that nice perception to the onlookers, like our individual selves, and say, okay, so they're willing to admit a mistake, or let me see if I can fix it for you. So I just want to push that out there, guys. It's super important. Don't put the emotion into those review responses. It is what it is, and you just got to keep moving forward. And the best way to and we always say the best way to squash a negative review that you just you did screw up, they are 100% right. Best thing is get more reviews, get more positive reviews, and just keep moving. Hope this was helpful. Talk to you soon.